Growing up in Wales, Anthony Hopkins was shaped by a modest upbringing. His father was a baker, and his mother worked as a homemaker. Despite the family's humble means, they encouraged his early interest in the arts. As a child, he was shy and struggled with his confidence, but he found solace in storytelling and performance. His first exposure to acting came during his school years, where he discovered a passion for the stage. Key influences in his life included his drama teacher, who recognized his talent and encouraged him to pursue acting seriously. This mentor played a crucial role in helping him develop his skills and gain confidence. Additionally, the rich cultural environment of Wales exposed him to various theatrical traditions and performances, further igniting his passion. Hopkins' journey took a significant turn when he attended the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama. Here, he honed his craft and met other aspiring actors, forming bonds that would last throughout his career. The combination of his supportive family, encouraging mentors, and a vibrant artistic community laid the foundation for his remarkable journey in the world of acting. Anthony Hopkins is a well-known actor famous for his powerful performances in movies and plays. He has won many awards and is best recognized for his role as Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. His career spans several decades, and he has played a wide range of characters, showcasing his talent and versatility. Can you recall the first work of actor Anthony Hopkins you watched with this iconic person? Perhaps it was a thrilling movie or a touching drama. Do you have a cherished memory associated with actor Anthony Hopkins? Maybe you watched one of his films with family or friends, and it brought back special feelings. We would love to hear your stories and memories in the comments below. There are many funny, shocking, and sad facts coming up, so keep watching this video. You might learn something new about this classic star. As a young boy in Wales, Anthony Hopkins found his passion for acting during a school play. He was shy and struggled with self-confidence, but stepping onto the stage transformed him. The thrill of performing captivated him, and he felt a sense of freedom he had never known. One particular moment stood out when he played a character who was much more confident than he was. The applause he received after that performance ignited a fire within him. Later, while attending the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama, he encountered a mentor who recognized his talent and encouraged him to pursue acting seriously. This mentor's belief in him was a pivotal experience, pushing him to embrace his craft fully. Hopkins also recalls watching films and being mesmerized by the great actors of his time. Their performances inspired him to study their techniques and develop his own style. These experiences, filled with both struggle and triumph, shaped his desire to become an actor, leading him to a remarkable career in film and theater. The combination of early performances, mentorship, and admiration for fellow actors laid the groundwork for his lifelong dedication to the craft. Anthony Hopkins has had a profound impact on the film industry, shaping the way actors approach their craft. His performance in The Silence of the Lambs set a new standard for portraying complex characters. This role showcased his ability to convey deep emotions with subtlety, influencing many actors who followed. Hopkins' skill in transforming into his characters has encouraged a more immersive acting style in Hollywood. His versatility spans various genres, from drama to fantasy, which has broadened the types of roles available to actors. He has also been a mentor to younger talents, sharing insights about acting and storytelling. This willingness to guide others has fostered a sense of community within the industry. Moreover, his work has contributed to the rise of more character-driven narratives. Filmmakers now recognize the importance of strong performances in elevating their stories. Hopkins' dedication to his roles has inspired many to pursue authenticity in their acting. Overall, his legacy continues to influence both the craft of acting and the direction of Hollywood storytelling. Facing early challenges, Anthony Hopkins encountered significant financial struggles. Growing up in Wales, he often felt the weight of poverty. His family had limited means, and this created a sense of urgency in his pursuit of acting. Despite his talent, the industry was skeptical of him. Many did not recognize his potential, and he faced rejection from various auditions and roles. This skepticism could have easily discouraged him, yet he found ways to persevere. Hopkins immersed himself in his craft, taking on small roles in theater to hone his skills. He also sought mentorship from experienced actors, learning from their journeys and insights. This dedication helped him build confidence and resilience. By focusing on his passion and continuously improving, he eventually caught the attention of influential figures in the film industry. His breakthrough came with roles that showcased his unique talent, leading to a successful career. Through hard work and creativity, he overcame the obstacles that once seemed insurmountable. In Amistad, Anthony Hopkins played John Quincy Adams. His casting continued director Steven Spielberg's practice of using actors from the film Gandhi. This trend included actors like Russian Seth and Amrish Puri in Indiana Jones and the Temple of Doom, Ben Kingsley in Schindler's List, and Richard Attenborough in Jurassic Park. Hopkins had a strong connection with Attenborough, appearing in several of his films such as Young Winston, A Bridge Too Far, and Shadowlands. During the filming of Amistad, Hopkins impressed everyone by memorizing a 7-page speech all at once. Spielberg was so taken by this that he called him Sir Anthony on set instead of Tony. In Meet Joe Black, Hopkins portrayed William Parrish. The film featured 3 Oscar winners: Hopkins, Brad Pitt, and Marcia Gay Harden, along with Oscar nominee June Squibb. Brad Pitt has won 2 Oscars, one for producing a Best Picture winner, and another for Best Supporting Actor. This collaboration highlighted the talent present in the film, and showcased Hopkins' ability to work alongside other acclaimed actors. In the early 1990s, a significant turning point in Anthony Hopkins' career came with his role in The Silence of the Lambs. His portrayal of Dr. Hannibal Lecter was both chilling and captivating, earning him an Academy Award for Best Actor. Critics praised his ability to convey menace and intellect with minimal dialogue, making him a standout in the film. Fellow actor Jodie Foster described working with him as a masterclass in acting, noting how his presence elevated every scene. Following this breakthrough, Hopkins continued to receive acclaim for his performances in films like The Remains of the Day and The Father. In The Remains of the Day, his subtle and nuanced performance showcased his range, earning him another Oscar nomination. Critics hailed him as one of the finest actors of his generation, often highlighting his ability to embody complex characters. Collaborators have often spoken about his dedication to the craft. Director Jonathan Demme noted that Hopkins brought an extraordinary depth to his roles, making them unforgettable. The impact of his performances has inspired many younger actors who look up to him as a benchmark of excellence in the industry. His ability to shift from dramatic to light-hearted roles demonstrates his versatility, making him a beloved figure in cinema. His legacy continues to influence actors and filmmakers alike, proving that talent and commitment can lead to lasting success. He has 2 notable Shakespearean roles in common with Laurence Olivier in film performances. Olivier played Othello in Othello, while Hopkins took on the same role in Othello. Similarly, Olivier portrayed King Lear in King Lear, and Hopkins played the same character in King Lear. In addition, Hopkins provided the voice for Olivier in the 1991 restored edition of Spartacus for a scene that had lost sound over the years. In Howard's End, Hopkins played Henry Wilcox. Emma Thompson won an Academy Award for her role in this film, and Hopkins presented her the award after winning Best Actor for The Silence of the Lambs the previous year. Jodie Foster also won Best Actress for her performance in the same film. In Magic, Hopkins played Corky. To prepare for this role, he learned magic tricks and studied ventriloquism. He practiced projecting his voice and manipulating a ventriloquist dummy, showcasing his dedication to his craft. Exploring the creative process of Anthony Hopkins reveals a deep commitment to his craft. He approaches each role with intense preparation, often immersing himself in research and character study. This dedication stems from his own life experiences, including challenges he faced in his youth, which shaped his understanding of human emotions and complexities. His performances often reflect a profound insight into the darker aspects of humanity, allowing audiences to connect with his characters on a personal level. Hopkins has a unique ability to convey vulnerability and strength simultaneously, making his characters memorable and relatable. He draws from his own struggles with self-doubt and anxiety, using these feelings to inform his portrayals. This connection to his personal life adds depth to his performances, as he brings authenticity to the roles he plays. His worldview, shaped by a mix of classical training and a love for storytelling, allows him to explore themes of morality, power, and redemption. In addition to his acting, Hopkins is also a talented composer and painter, showcasing his artistic vision in various forms. This multifaceted creativity enriches his performances, as he often finds inspiration in music and visual art. His ability to see the world through different lenses enhances his understanding of character and narrative, making his work stand out in the film industry. The passion he brings to his roles, combined with his life experiences, creates a distinctive style that resonates with audiences and leaves a lasting impact. In The Lion in Winter, Anthony Hopkins played the role of Richard. This marked his first major role in a full-length movie after his earlier appearance in The White Bus, a shorter film. When he was young, Hopkins felt nervous about performing alongside actors like Peter O'Toole and Katharine Hepburn. Hepburn gave him valuable advice, telling him to simply be himself and not to act too much. She encouraged him to observe real actors who just spoke their lines naturally. This guidance shaped his approach to acting, and he later called it the best advice he ever received. In The Bounty, Hopkins portrayed Lieutenant William Bligh. Both he and Daniel Day-Lewis played U.S. presidents and received Oscar nominations for their performances. Day-Lewis won Best Actor for his role in Lincoln, while Hopkins was nominated for Best Actor in a Supporting Role for Amistad, and for Best Actor for his role in Nixon. In A Bridge Too Far, he took on the role of Lieutenant Colonel Frost. In this film, he shared the screen with Edward Fox and Laurence Olivier, both of whom also starred in The Bounty later. This connection highlights the collaborations and relationships within the film industry that often span multiple projects. Through his remarkable performances, Anthony Hopkins has made a significant impact on the film industry. His portrayal of complex characters, especially in films like The Silence of the Lambs, has set a new standard for acting. Hopkins' ability to convey deep emotions through subtle gestures and expressions has influenced many actors to focus on the nuances of their characters. His technique of immersing himself fully into roles encourages others to explore the psychological depths of their characters, leading to richer storytelling. Industry experts often highlight how Hopkins' work has pushed the boundaries of traditional acting. His unique style has inspired a generation of performers to embrace vulnerability and authenticity. Many actors cite him as a major influence, noting how his performances challenge them to elevate their craft. Directors also appreciate his commitment to character development, which often results in performances that resonate with audiences on a profound level. His contributions have not only shaped acting techniques, but have also influenced the types of stories that filmmakers choose to tell, encouraging narratives that delve into the human psyche. In QB7, Anthony Hopkins played Adam Kelno. During the filming, Jack Hawkins, who portrayed Justice Gilroy, had throat cancer. His voice was not used in the final cut. It was dubbed over by Charles Gray. Hopkins took it upon himself to redub Hawkins' voice after seeing a screening where the original dubbing was poorly done by an American actor. This experience highlighted Hopkins' commitment to his fellow actor and the integrity of the film. In A Bridge Too Far, Hopkins portrayed Lieutenant Colonel Frost. This film connected him to Laurence Olivier, who played Dr. Jan Spander. Both actors later took on the role of Professor Abraham Van Helsing in different adaptations of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Olivier played the role in the 1979 version, while Hopkins took on the character in Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992. In The Mask of Zorro, Hopkins played Don Diego de la Vega. He starred alongside Catherine Zeta-Jones, who played his daughter. Both actors are Welsh, making them the only Welsh performers in the film. Their shared heritage added a unique element to their performances and the story. In his personal life, Anthony Hopkins embraces a deep appreciation for music and painting, often sharing his passion for these arts with others. His love for classical music and composition reflects a creative spirit that informs his acting. Hopkins has mentioned that music helps him find the emotional depth needed for his roles. His artistic interests extend to painting, where he finds a sense of freedom and expression, allowing him to explore his inner thoughts and feelings. Philanthropy plays a significant role in his life as well. He supports various causes, particularly those related to the arts and mental health awareness. His own experiences with mental health challenges have made him an advocate for understanding and compassion in this area. He has spoken openly about his struggles, aiming to reduce stigma and encourage others to seek help. Hopkins also champions the arts, believing they are vital for personal and societal growth. Through his work and public speaking, he inspires others to appreciate creativity and the importance of emotional well-being. His values of empathy, creativity, and resilience shine through both in his life and his performances, making him a profound figure in both his personal and professional spheres. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs was a role that Anthony Hopkins made iconic. Originally, the character was not meant to be British. Hannibal was described as being from Baltimore. Gene Hackman was the first choice for the role, but decided not to take it. Brian Cox had already played Hannibal in the prequel Manhunter, released in 1986. However, when Hopkins took on the role, he made it his own, leading to changes in the character's background. The later novels, Hannibal and Hannibal Rising, revealed that Hannibal was actually from Lithuania and lived in France before moving to the United States, which may explain his unique accent. In The Lion in Winter, Hopkins played Prince Richard. Most of the main cast were graduates of the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts in London. Peter O'Toole portrayed King Henry II, while Timothy Dalton played King Philip II. Other notable actors included John Castle as Prince Geoffrey and Jane Merrow as Elyse. In The Mask of Zorro, Hopkins took on the role of Don Diego de la Vega. He portrayed Bernardo, Zorro's butler. Zorro has been a significant influence on the character of Batman, and Bernardo inspired Alfred Pennyworth, Batman's butler. Interestingly, Hopkins was also offered the role in Batman Begins, which was released in 2005. Reflecting on the legacy of Anthony Hopkins, his impact on the film industry is profound. With a career spanning decades, he has delivered unforgettable performances that showcase his incredible talent and versatility. From his chilling portrayal of Hannibal Lecter to his heartfelt roles in dramas, he has set a standard for excellence that many aspire to reach. Hopkins emphasizes the importance of authenticity in acting, encouraging performers to connect deeply with their characters and the stories they tell. Looking to the future, he envisions continuing to explore new roles and creative projects that challenge him. He believes that growth is essential in this profession, and he advises aspiring actors to embrace every opportunity for learning. He suggests that young professionals should not fear failure, as it is often the best teacher. By staying curious and committed to their craft, they can carve out their own unique paths in an ever-evolving industry. This journey requires passion, resilience, and a willingness to take risks, which Hopkins believes are key to a fulfilling career. He has been a sought-after actor for the James Bond franchise. Initially, he was in discussions to play a villain in an unmade film with Timothy Dalton. Later, he was the top choice for villains in both GoldenEye and Tomorrow Never Dies. There were also rumors about him being considered for a role in Skyfall, which was eventually played by Albert Finney. In The Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins portrayed Dr. Hannibal Lecter. When his agent called him in London about the script, Hopkins thought it might be a children's movie. He was surprised to learn it was a thriller. His performance became iconic and earned him an Academy Award. As Dr. Frederick Treves in The Elephant Man, Hopkins showcased his talent in a different light. Many successful films by Mel Brooks featured actors and crew members from this project. Jonathan Sanger later worked on another script called Francis, which had connections to this film. David Lynch was offered the chance to direct, but declined. The Doctor and the Devils, directed by Freddie Francis, also added to Hopkins' notable works. He reunited with Anne Bancroft in '84 Charing Cross Road, further highlighting his diverse career. From his early days in Wales, Anthony Hopkins displayed a deep passion for acting that would shape his remarkable career. His journey took him from the Royal Welsh College of Music and Drama to the stages of London's West End, where his talent shone brightly. With each role, he pushed the boundaries of performance, bringing innovative techniques and a profound understanding of character to the screen. His portrayal of Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs not only earned him an Academy Award, but also left an indelible mark on the horror genre, showcasing his ability to blend charisma with chilling intensity. Throughout his career, Hopkins has embraced a wide range of characters, demonstrating versatility and a relentless pursuit of excellence. His dedication to his craft has inspired countless actors and filmmakers, proving that creativity knows no age limit. As he continues to act and create, his legacy reminds us of the power of storytelling in connecting people and exploring the human experience. The journey of Anthony Hopkins illustrates that with passion and perseverance, one can leave a lasting impact on the world, encouraging others to pursue their creative dreams. He was a member of the National Theatre and took part in several important plays. His performances included roles in Juno and The Paycock, A Flea to Her Ear, Dance of Death, The Three Sisters, Coriolan, and Macbeth. These roles helped him develop his skills and gain recognition in the theater world. In film, he has the unique distinction of portraying two U.S. presidents. He played Richard Nixon in Nixon and John Quincy Adams in Amistad. Both performances earned him Oscar nominations, showcasing his ability to bring historical figures to life on screen. In the movie Magic, he played a character named Corky. For this role, he and Anne Margaret were each paid around $300,000. This film added to his diverse career and highlighted his talent in both drama and thriller genres. His work spans various forms of media, and he remains a respected figure in acting. into the 1991 restoration of Spartacus. Scenes cut from the 1967 reissue were added back. One notable scene features Laurence Olivier as Marcus Crassus trying to seduce the slave Antoninus, played by Tony Curtis. The original soundtrack for this scene was lost. Since Olivier had passed away in 1989, Anthony Hopkins, who had understudied Olivier at the Old Vic, provided the voice for this segment. Tony Curtis likely supplied his own voice for the recreated soundtrack. In Meet Joe Black, Anthony Hopkins plays William Parrish. This film marks a reunion between Hopkins and Brad Pitt, who previously worked together in Legends of the Fall. As John Quincy Adams in Amistad, Anthony Hopkins impressed the crew by delivering a 7-page courtroom speech in one take. Steven Spielberg, the director, was so impressed that he chose to call him Sir Anthony throughout the filming. This level of respect reflects Hopkins' talent and professionalism in the industry. In a notable role, Anthony Hopkins played Dr. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. This performance earned him significant acclaim. However, in a 2016 interview, he expressed regret about appearing in the sequels Hannibal and Red Dragon. He stated he would not portray Hannibal Lecter again, describing The Silence of the Lambs as okay and a good film. In another significant role, Hopkins portrayed Richard M. Nixon in the film Nixon. Director Oliver Stone chose him after watching The Remains of the Day. He believed Hopkins could capture the inner conflict that was essential for the character. Additionally, in The Elephant Man, Hopkins played Dr. Frederick Treves. Interestingly, before he saw the film, he experienced a suspenseful moment, similar to how Jodie Foster was led to him as Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. This connection highlights the range of roles Hopkins has taken on and the impact of his performances in cinema. In the film Magic, Anthony Hopkins plays Corky, a magician who uses a ventriloquist dummy named Fats. The dummy was designed to resemble Hopkins, adding an eerie element to the story. This film showcases Hopkins' ability to portray complex characters, blending charm with a darker side. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Hopkins takes on the role of Professor Abraham Van Helsing. This character is a key figure in the fight against Dracula. The last major film adaptation before this was in 1979, featuring Laurence Olivier as Van Helsing. Olivier's legacy continued even after his death, as Anthony Hopkins voiced his character in an extended cut of the film released in 1992. In this version, Frank Langella played Dracula. Interestingly, both Langella and Hopkins have portrayed Richard Nixon in different productions. Olivier also directed Hamlet, marking the first collaboration between actors Peter Cushing and Christopher Lee, who later starred together in Horror of Dracula. In Juggernaut, Anthony Hopkins plays Superintendent John McCloud. This film highlights his versatility as an actor. He shares the screen with Freddie Jones, who later appeared with him in The Elephant Man. Their performances in these films demonstrate their range and ability to engage audiences. In Howard's End, Anthony Hopkins plays Henry Wilcox, a character that showcases his talent alongside Emma Thompson. This film is one of two notable works from Merchant Ivory Productions that feature both actors. The other film is The Remains of the Day, released in 1993. In Nixon, Hopkins takes on the role of Richard M. Nixon. To prepare for this role, he studied nearly every speech Nixon ever gave, watching them repeatedly. He also met with people who had known Nixon, which helped him understand the former president better. In The Silence of the Lambs, Hopkins portrays Dr. Hannibal Lecter. The film's director, Jonathan Demme, initially planned to film a flashback scene in Montana. However, after watching the powerful dialogue between Jodie Foster and Hopkins, he decided it was unnecessary to cut away from their performances. This decision highlighted the strength of their acting and the impact of their on-screen relationship. In the film Magic, Anthony Hopkins plays a character named Charles Withers, who is often called Corky. This nickname is a central part of his identity in the story. Peggy Ann Snow, played by Anne Margaret, also uses affectionate nicknames for Corky, such as Cor and Cork. These names reflect their relationship and add depth to the characters' interactions. Hopkins graduated from the Royal Academy of Dramatic Art in London, England. This prestigious school helped him develop his acting skills and laid the foundation for his successful career in film and theater. As a child, Hopkins had a close bond with his maternal grandfather, who referred to him as George. In contrast, his father called him Charlie. These different names show the various relationships in his early life and how they influenced his identity. The mix of names from family members highlights the complexity of his upbringing and the connections he had with them. In September 1999, An online poll by Entertainment Weekly named Anthony Hopkins the best modern actor and best villain for his iconic role as Hannibal Lecter. He is the only child of a couple who ran a bakery, which shaped his early life. His portrayal of Dr. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs is one of his most famous roles. When Lecter was moved from Baltimore, the plan was to dress him in a yellow or orange jumpsuit. However, Hopkins suggested a pure white outfit instead. He believed this choice would make the character appear more clinical and unsettling. This idea came from his own fear of dentists, highlighting how personal experiences can influence artistic decisions. Hopkins' performance has left a lasting impact on film and continues to be recognized as a benchmark for villainous roles. His ability to bring depth to complex characters has made him a respected figure in the acting world. Both Anthony Hopkins and Frank Langella share notable roles in their acting careers. Langella portrayed Don Diego de la Vega, also known as Zorro, in The Mark of Zorro, while Hopkins took on the same character in The Mask of Zorro. In addition, Hopkins played U.S. President Richard Nixon in Nixon, and Langella played Nixon in Frost Nixon. They also both acted in adaptations of Bram Stoker's Dracula. Langella starred as Dracula in the 1979 film, and Hopkins played Professor Abraham Van Helsing in Bram Stoker's Dracula in 1992. In The Bounty, Hopkins played Captain Bligh. Sir David Lean considered him for the role, along with Oliver Reed during the early development of the film. Hopkins also starred as Corky in Magic. This film marked the last collaboration between him and producer Joseph E. Levine, who also worked with Hopkins on The Lion in Winter and A Bridge Too Far. In The Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins played Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a role that became iconic in film history. Laura Dern was initially considered for the role of Clara Starling. She had her first major role in Alice Doesn't Live Here Anymore, where she acted alongside Jodie Foster and future cast members of Red Dragon. Dern is known for her collaborations with David Lynch, who directed Hopkins in The Elephant Man. In The Mask of Zorro, Hopkins portrayed Don Diego de la Vega. Director Martin Campbell was hesitant about using Zorro's bullwhip, but Hopkins insisted it was essential. He practiced daily and learned to perform tricks with it, including a notable candle scene. The whip was custom-made by Alex Green, who had previously doubled for Hopkins in Legends of the Fall and The Edge. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Hopkins played Professor Abraham Van Helsing. This film influenced Mel Brooks' parody Dracula Dead and Loving It. Several cast members, including Winona Ryder and Carrie Elwes, had connections to Brooks. Hopkins had previously worked with Brooks' wife, Anne Bancroft, in multiple films. His role as Van Helsing echoes his earlier portrayal of Richard Lionheart in The Lion in Winter. In The Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins portrayed Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a role that earned him the Best Actor Oscar. This win made him the third British actor in a row to receive this award, following Daniel Day-Lewis and Jeremy Irons. His performance as Lecter is notable not only for its intensity, but also because it marked the third time he played a doctor in his career. He had earlier taken on similar roles in The Elephant Man and QB7. In addition to his work as Lecter, Hopkins played Richard M. Nixon in the film Nixon. His career includes collaborations with other notable actors, such as Bob Hoskins. They appeared together in Othello and Mussolini, and Hopkins has built a diverse filmography, showcasing his ability to take on complex characters across various genres. His work continues to be recognized and celebrated in the film industry. In The Edge, Anthony Hopkins plays the character Charles Morse. Throughout the movie, Alec Baldwin refers to him as Charles at least 87 times, emphasizing the connection between the two characters. This repetition highlights the dynamics of their relationship in the film. In The Remains of the Day, Hopkins portrays Stevens, a butler in a grand English country house. The filmmakers lacked experience in the operations of such a house and the life of a butler. Kazuo Ishiguro, the author of the source novel, acknowledged this gap and learned about it while writing. To ensure authenticity, Hopkins requested an experienced butler to guide the production. Cyril Dickman, a retired steward to Queen Elizabeth II, was brought in as an advisor. He introduced a structured hierarchy of servants, including under-butlers, footmen, housemaids, and gardeners. This attention to detail helped create a realistic portrayal of life in a large estate. In 1960, Hopkins began his acting career at Manchester's Library Theatre. He then attended the Royal Academy of Dramatic Arts for 2 years, where he honed his skills and prepared for future roles. In The Elephant Man, Anthony Hopkins played the role of Dr. Frederick Treves. His performance was notable and showcased his talent. In 2011, he worked alongside Toby Jones, the son of Freddie Jones, in The Right. Both actors have portrayed Alfred Hitchcock, appearing in Hitchcock, and The Girl, both released in 2012. For his contributions to drama, Hopkins received the title of CBE, or Commander of the Most Excellent Order of the British Empire, in the 1987 Queen's Birthday Honours List. This honor recognized his impact on the arts. Beyond acting, he has also shown commitment to environmental causes. He pledged $1.6 million to help preserve 4,000 acres of land at Mount Snowdon, which is the highest peak in Wales. This act reflects his dedication not only to his craft but also to the natural world. His career and actions demonstrate a blend of artistic excellence and social responsibility. While shooting The Edge in 1997, Anthony Hopkins had a serious incident. He fell into a river in Alberta, Canada, and was quickly taken to the hospital for hypothermia treatment. This close call with death highlighted the risks actors sometimes face during filming. In his career, he has portrayed characters that experience extreme events. Notably, he has played roles where the character loses a hand to a meat cleaver. This occurs in both Titus and Hannibal, showcasing his ability to take on intense and dramatic scenes. One of his most famous roles is as Dr. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs. This character became iconic and is often associated with Hopkins. He has also shared the screen with Charles Napier, who appeared in films related to the Marvel Universe. Napier voiced the Hulk in the 1977 series and was in The Incredible Hulk Returns in 1988. Hopkins, on the other hand, played Odin in Thor, Thor: The Dark World, and Thor: Ragnarok. Interestingly, Edward Norton, who starred in Red Dragon with Hopkins, also appeared in The Incredible Hulk in 2008. This connection between actors across different films illustrates the intertwining nature of the film industry. Abigail Hopkins is the daughter of Anthony Hopkins. In his role as Dr. Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, Hopkins delivered a memorable performance. During the first meeting between Lecter and Clarice Starling, Jodie Foster noted that Hopkins improvised a mocking of her southern accent. This unscripted moment caught Foster off guard, and her horrified reaction was genuine. She later expressed gratitude to Hopkins for evoking such a real response in their scene together. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Anthony Hopkins played Professor Abraham Van Helsing. With Gary Oldman's Oscar win for portraying Dracula, Hopkins became the second actor to play a character related to Dracula and win an Academy Award. The first was Jack Palance. Additionally, Hopkins is one of at least 3 actors who have portrayed Van Helsing and won an Oscar. The other 2 actors are Laurence Olivier and Mel Brooks. This highlights Hopkins' significant achievements in his acting career and his contributions to iconic film roles. In Howard's End, Anthony Hopkins portrayed Henry Wilcox, showcasing his ability to take on complex characters. Early in his career, he played Claudius in Hamlet in 1969, a production directed by Tony Richardson, who was previously married to Vanessa Redgrave. This role helped establish his reputation as a talented actor. Later, he took on the role of Kostya in The Girl from Petrovka, demonstrating his versatility in different genres. In 2015, he appeared alongside Hal Holbrook in Blackway, further expanding his filmography. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Hopkins played Professor Abraham Van Helsing. This film added to his list of iconic roles. Florina Kendrick, who played the third bride, is from Romania. She coached her fellow brides and Anthony Hopkins on their Romanian dialogue, showing the collaborative effort in creating authentic performances. Hopkins' ability to adapt and learn highlights his dedication to his craft. His performances across various roles have left a lasting impact on the film industry. During the filming of Nixon, a scene between Richard Nixon, played by Anthony Hopkins, and Jack Jones, portrayed by Larry Hagman, created an unexpected moment. Powerful lights were directed straight down at coffee tables in front of a fur-upholstered couch. The intensity of the lights caused the rug beneath one table to begin smoking. An extra noticed the smoke and quietly said fire during a pause. James Woods, who played H.R. Haldeman, heard this and stopped the scene before any damage occurred. In The Silence of the Lambs, Anthony Hopkins, as Dr. Hannibal Lecter, revealed Buffalo Bill's real name to Senator Ruth Martin. The name Louis Friend is an anagram of iron sulfide, known as fool's gold. In the original novel, Lecter uses the name William Rubin, which plays on bilirubin, a pigment found in feces. The original script by Ted Talley included this name, but it was changed in later versions. Outside of his film work, Anthony Hopkins has mentioned that his favorite horror film is Rosemary's Baby from 1968. In The Remains of the Day, Anthony Hopkins played the character Stevens, a dedicated butler. His performance was highly regarded, showcasing his ability to convey deep emotions with subtlety. In The Trial, both Michael Lonsdale and Sir Anthony Hopkins portrayed the character of Priest in different adaptations of the story, highlighting their versatility as actors. On The Oprah Winfrey Show, he expressed pride in several of his roles, specifically mentioning The Silence of the Lambs, The Remains of the Day, and Proof. In The Silence of the Lambs, he portrayed Dr. Hannibal Lecter, a role that earned him significant acclaim. During filming, he improvised a distinctive slurping sound that became a signature of Lecter's character. This spontaneous addition was well received initially, but later annoyed director Jonathan Demme, who eventually denied his irritation. Hopkins' performances in these films demonstrate his skill in bringing complex characters to life, making him one of the most respected actors in the industry. His work continues to influence and inspire many in the field of acting. Volunteers at the Ruskin School of Acting in Santa Monica, California, where Anthony Hopkins teaches, learn various aspects of acting. He covers topics from Shakespeare to scenes, theory, and monologues. His teaching style emphasizes the importance of understanding the material and connecting with the characters. In the film The Girl from Petrovka, Hopkins played the role of Kostya. Before filming began, he searched for a copy of the novel that inspired the movie. Despite his efforts in London's Charing Cross Road, he could not find it. As he was about to leave, he discovered a copy lying on a bench at the train station. Years later, he met the author, George Pfeiffer, who revealed he had lent his copy to a friend who lost it. Hopkins then showed Pfeiffer the book he found, and learned it was indeed the author's lost copy. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Hopkins portrayed Professor Abraham Van Helsing. The film's producer and director, Francis Ford Coppola, mentioned that much of the cast was chosen based on Winona Ryder's preferences, which included actors like Gary Oldman, Keanu Reeves, and Richard E. Grant. This collaboration brought together a talented group, contributing to the film's unique atmosphere and storytelling. In Howard's End, Anthony Hopkins plays the role of Henry Wilcox. His co-star, Helena Bonham Carter, is the great-granddaughter of Prime Minister Henry Herbert Asquith. After Asquith, David Lloyd George took over as Prime Minister, a role also portrayed by Hopkins in the film Young Winston. Despite facing challenges with dyslexia, Hopkins has always shown a strong ability to memorize scripts. This skill has helped him succeed in his acting career. In a survey conducted by Orange Film, he ranked second among the greatest British film actors. His work has had a lasting impact on the film industry, and he continues to be recognized for his talent and contributions to cinema. His performances have captivated audiences and critics alike, making him a significant figure in the world of acting. Born at 9:15 a.m. in Wales, Anthony Hopkins is known for his powerful acting skills. His role as Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs is one of his most famous performances. This character is ranked number 15 on Premiere Magazine's list of the 100 greatest movie characters of all time. In addition to his iconic roles, Hopkins faced a serious situation while filming The Edge. During the shoot in Alberta, he experienced a health scare. He was taking painkillers for a neck issue when he fell into a river. The cold water quickly affected him, but he did not realize how serious it was until he started to suffer from hypothermia. His team acted quickly and rushed him to the hospital for treatment. This incident highlighted not only the risks actors face while filming, but also the dedication of Hopkins to his craft. His ability to portray complex characters has made him a respected figure in the film industry. His second wife, Jenny, was a former film production secretary. They met while filming When 8 Bells Toll. In his career, Anthony Hopkins played the role of Charles Morse in The Edge. This film marked the second time he worked with Bart the Bear, the first being in Legends of the Fall. Hopkins has collaborated with many acclaimed directors. He has worked with 12 directors who have won an Oscar for Best Director. These directors include Tony Richardson, Richard Attenborough, Robert Wise, Michael Cimino, Jonathan Demme, Francis Ford Coppola, John Schlesinger, Oliver Stone, Steven Spielberg, Ron Howard, Robert Zemeckis, and Woody Allen. His ability to adapt to various roles and work with top talent has made him a respected figure in the film industry. His relationships and experiences on set have shaped his career and contributed to his legacy as an actor. In The Edge, Anthony Hopkins plays Charles Morse. His character carries a knife made by Brian Little. The knife has a blade length of 3 inches and features mammoth ivory scales. This detail adds a unique touch to the character and the story. In Bram Stoker's Dracula, Hopkins takes on the role of Professor Abraham Van Helsing. The film includes notable actors such as Gary Oldman and Winona Ryder, both of whom have received Oscar nominations. Hopkins himself is an Oscar winner, adding to the film's prestige. In The Silence of the Lambs, he portrays Dr. Hannibal Lecter. To prepare for this intense role, Hopkins studied files of serial killers. He visited prisons and observed convicted murderers. He also attended court hearings for serious criminal cases. This deep research helped him create a chilling and memorable character. His dedication to understanding the mind of a killer is evident in his performance. The roles he has taken on showcase his range as an actor and his commitment to his craft. Turned down the role of Alfred Pennyworth in Batman Begins, Anthony Hopkins made a notable choice in his career. His performance as George Hayden in Chaplin showcased his talent alongside other Oscar winners. The film included him as the biographer, having won an Oscar for Silence of the Lambs, and Marisa Tomei, who won for My Cousin Vinny. This connection likely helped the film gain attention and popularity. In Nixon, Hopkins took on the role of Richard M. Nixon. The cast featured 2 Oscar winners. Hopkins and Mary Steenburgen. Enrolida also included 6 Oscar nominees: James Woods, Ed Harris, Joan Allen, Madeline Kahn, David Paymer, and Bob Hoskins. This strong ensemble highlighted the film's quality and drew interest from audiences and critics alike. Hopkins' choices in roles reflect his focus on significant characters and impactful stories. Anthony Hopkins has left a remarkable mark on the world of film and theater. His ability to portray complex characters has earned him critical acclaim and a devoted following. Many remember him for his chilling performance as Hannibal Lecter in The Silence of the Lambs, where his intense gaze and subtle mannerisms created an unforgettable villain. Beyond this iconic role, his performances in films like The Remains of the Day and The Father showcase his range and depth as an actor. His work often reflects a profound understanding of human emotions, making his characters relatable and memorable. Hopkins has also contributed to theater, demonstrating his versatility as both an actor and a storyteller. His journey from a young boy in Wales to an internationally celebrated actor inspires many. As we reflect on his contributions, we invite you to share your thoughts on Anthony Hopkins' work and legacy in the comments. What performances moved you? Which roles do you think defined his career? Your insights matter, and we encourage you to like, share, and subscribe for more content that celebrates the creative spirits shaping and